Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, wild women. It's Elizabeth Elenor with Pause. And I want you to raise your hand if you are scared of failure. I know that I'm going to put my hand up. It's something that I've worked with a lot, especially in relationships, right? Fear of failure is a big thing when you've had really, hard, challenging, emotionally abusive relationships before. A lot of, I know that when I met Tim, one of the things that I found the most, like all these different layers that I was going through as I first met him. And the biggest one was when I realized that I wasn't completely giving him all of my heart because I was so scared of being rejected and him, not so much rejected, but him not actually being there for me, like that somehow he was going to die. And it was way back from my childhood, from when my dad died. And I was like, no, I'm not letting anyone in, especially because, and tell me if this is you, and just as a side note, we've got a thing for pause, #reflect, right? Because Monday mornings, we want to reflect over the week. How has this been affecting you and your relationships and what's going on for you in your world? Because when your relationship is not quite is not quite where it should be, is not balanced, then it's affecting everything else. It's affecting the way you make money. It affects you and your children. It affects you and your health. It affects what you put in your mouth. It affects what you watch. It's all of these things. They're all interrelated, right? You can't take one away from the other. And so if you've been in a relationship where you had narcissistic abuse, which is something that I've found a lot of women have had that, in relationships before, where they have had emotionally abuse, from their previous partners. And it's really hard not to take that into the next relationship. Or, one of the things we do is we go, this is what happened last time. How can I solve this? Well, I'll solve it by not being able to find someone, not actually looking for a new partner, not, living in my heart center so that I don't get hurt anymore, right? Holding that wall, not speaking my truth. All of those things are affected by the relationships that we've had previously. And so it's okay to feel our feelings. That's the first thing I want to say, is it's okay. Because I know for myself, I was in relationships that I just constantly kept on getting, is there something wrong with me? Why is this not working? Why can't I express my feelings? Am I not good enough? Or, is there something that, am I incapable of expressing what's going on for me? And I actually was. I couldn't express what was going on internally because I was scared that it meant that somehow I didn't belong, or that there was something wrong with me, that I was strange, so I actually hid it. And not only did I hide it from myself, but I hid it from everybody else. So the first thing is, it's okay to actually feel your feelings and to express your feelings, right? Because we often feel like we're the only one that feels this way, and we get it locked up. It gets locked up in our auric field. It then layers in and it starts getting locked up in our cells. And this is how dis-ease starts, right? We start numbing ourselves in some way. Some, addiction might be food. It might be, all of those other, wild and crazy addictions that we can have. Alcohol, drugs, binge watching Netflix, all of those things, right? And so when we can't express our feelings to ourselves because we feel that we're going to be rejected, we can't express that to other people. And therefore, we live in this, in this muggle world where we're in this unconscious walking, dreaming state. And we're never, ever living in our prolific, in our extraordinary, in our wildness, right? And so it's really sad. It's really sad when we can't be who we are inside and express it to the world. Can you imagine getting to the end of your life and knowing that you weren't living to your fullest capacity, loving to your fullest capacity, being as passionate about everything that you wanted to be? It just would be so sad, right? To be at the end of your life knowing that you didn't live full out. And so the first thing is to feel your feelings and be okay with them, right? Feel okay with not knowing. Being okay with, I don't know where this feeling is coming from, but I know I'm feeling it, right? I'm feeling something. What is it that I'm feeling? I remember when I was, and I might have already shared this on here, but I remember when I was living up in Far North Queensland at the beach, and there was a woman that lived up the road from me, and she was a bit younger than me. And her boyfriend at the time, they all went out down to the beach for her daughter's birthday, and he had a video camera. And so he was videotaping the whole family, right? Anyway, when they got home and they watched the video, some young girls had gone past, like in their 20s or whatever, in their bikinis, and he had taped it as they went along. And she had a problem with it, right? She had a major problem with the fact that he was videotaping other women while he was supposed to be engaging in the family birthday party, right? Well, he just, what do you call that? Gaslighting. He actually gaslighted her and said, what do you mean? I'm not doing anything wrong. And why are you jealous? Blah, blah, blah. And he just broke her down until she came to this point where she felt like she was in the wrong and that she shouldn't have a problem with it, right? And has that ever happened to you where someone has broken you down, like you've got an issue, you actually speak that issue, but somehow it gets turned around where you're the one that's confused and concerned that somehow that you've done something wrong? Like, I know it's happened to me, right? And I was just a little bit older than this woman. So I think I was about 5 or 10 years older than her. And was in that journey where I was starting to express myself and start to understand, it's okay to speak your truth and all this sort of stuff. And so she came down to ask me, like, what would you do? Like, do you think that this is bad? And I went, you know what? It really doesn't matter what I believe. I think it's really bad, right? And I would have said something as well, but it actually doesn't matter. It matters how you feel about it. This is how you're feeling regardless. And we go into this place of not validating our own feelings because we're so in the tribe mentality, right? We are concerned to be outside of that, outside of the group and the tribe. What if I think differently? And I don't belong. So we worry about not belonging. So we don't express how we're feeling just in case it's not the way everybody else is feeling, or it's being too much, is not being good enough, like we're not perfect, all of these things that come up. So we bottle it up and we don't say anything and we be the good girl because we've been trained and conditioned to, live in shut your mouth and just smile and yeah, everything's fine, right? But honestly, when you start being able to express your emotions, when you start being able to feel them and be okay with maybe not knowing what's going on for you, but just expressing it first, and going, this is how I'm feeling. Don't know what it means. Don't know how, like what my decision is from here. But this is, like just acknowledge it. When you can get to that place, what happens is once you start expressing, you get this to be a moment instead of 30 days or 10 days of moping around and trying to figure out why I'm feeling shitty, right? When you start being able to express your emotions in the moment, you let it out of your body. You actually have that moment like, it's okay. Like, now that I've expressed it, 70% of it's gone, right? Now, once I've expressed it, I can get to that next point of understanding. Now that I know this is how I feel, what does that mean for me when it comes to this situation or like whatever's going on within the relationship? So it's okay to let go of failed relationships, like we get into this place where we think that we're going to have another one, right? It's okay to be scared of rejection. It's okay to be scared of failure. And just expressing that to yourself is enough to let go of some of it out of our auric field, out of our body, out of our cells. Breathe it out, let it out of the body. So then we can step into a little bit more courage, a little bit more hope, a little bit more, this is what I'm choosing instead, coming from a place of making decisions based on where you're at now rather than these old patterns that used to be okay and used to happen, but maybe not now. We don't have to take that on now. We need to step into this is how I'm feeling and let go of it so that we can move on. Well, what is my choice instead, right? Because when we can stand in being a wild woman, like an empowered woman, so wild to me is an empowered woman, a woman that is able to express her feelings and let it out and then be quite neutral with what's going on so that she can come from a space of being in the moment and making decisions based on what she wants to experience rather than what she's experienced before, right? Because we get to choose. We get to choose how we're going to show up in a relationship. We get to choose how we're going to, what choices we're going to make. Whether we're saying yes to where it's going or whether we're saying, no, it's not suiting me and being okay with that. We get to choose and we get to show up for ourselves. So when you're looking for a new relationship or you've just found yourself in a new relationship, it's okay to have that fear and to to let go of it and breathe through it and just let it flow rather than hold on to those old patterns of behavior instead. So a lot of it can come from not understanding where our boundaries are, right? When we can understand who we are internally, we can make more confident yes and no's. And so those things are something that comes with understanding ourselves and just being okay with whatever's going on for us now. I have had moments where I'm like, you know what? Right now I'm feeling really shitty. And someone, whoever I'm at, goes, why? I'm like, I don't know why I'm feeling shitty. I just feel really shitty. And I just needed to express that, right? Nothing to do with you. Don't know where it's coming from. I'm just feeling shitty, right? Because I haven't caught the belief or the memory that's popped up or, because our mind goes 100 miles an hour, right? So somehow through that process, if you don't catch it, you've got this emotion all of a sudden, you don't know where it is. And it's okay to feel the emotion and not know what it is, right? So I'd love for you to put hashtag reflect and just let me know What relationships, what emotions have been holding you back from your previous relationship and affecting what's going on for you either in your relationship now, or because you're holding on to them, you're not able to let go and find yourself in a new relationship. Draw and attract that beautiful partner that you know is there waiting for you. Which relationship do you want? Do you want the old one? Or do you want to find a beautiful relationship by letting go and just feeling your feelings and be okay with the fact that, sometimes we fail, right? Sometimes we fail. And if we're holding on to the old stuff, then we're ultimately going to create it again in this life, in this relationship, in this current reality. So it's letting go of that old stuff, feeling your feelings, expressing them, letting them clear out of your body, going with the flow, coming into being neutral, right? Once you understand what you're feeling, and then, once you actually acknowledge this is how I'm feeling, the next thing that can happen is the next piece of the puzzle comes in, right? So it's being able to clear that so that you can move forward in your relationship. Or looking for that beautiful partner that you're waiting for. So take care, nice quick one, and enjoy the rest of your week. Love to hear your reflections in the comments.